maybe explore a possibility to do one boxing match and come back into MMA with another organization, promotion, or my own promotion. Everywhere that I feel respected, everywhere that I feel valued, I'll be happy to do that.
One of the biggest stars in the sport of MMA, Francis Ngannou, has now made a career decision to leave the UFC. He is the man with the most devastating knockout power and also the heavyweight champion and baddest man on the planet.
Uppercut. Yeah, he's done. That's it.
Who knows, he could face Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder in a cross-MMA boxing match in his next fight. Francis is a man with aspirations and an unstoppable mindset, so we'd need to take a look at the honest reasons why he left the UFC and what's next for the superstar. This being the 30th year of the UFC's existence, we can only point to one previous instance where this has happened. BJ Penn left the organization as a welterweight champion in 2004 because of a contract dispute, but he eventually found his way back and spent another decade plus fighting in the octagon. But that was almost 2 decades ago. Others have tried to escape from the firm grip of the world's top MMA promotion over the years. Randy Couture is the most prominent of those figures and even went to court in hopes of avoiding his contract, but it never happened. No wonder Dana White warned Ngannou to go and ask Randy what happens to guys that try to leave the UFC. For anyone who has been paying attention for the past 18 months, the news of Ngannou's departure should not come as a complete surprise. In fact, it seems to be exactly what Ngannou wanted. He's felt misused, mistreated, and inadequately paid by the UFC for some time and expressed that opinion over and over. Ngannou wanted his respect, whether that meant in dollars and cents alone or the grander scheme. Ngannou went into his UFC 270 fight with Cyril Gane in January of 2022 with a busted knee and on the final fight of his contract, knowing that if he could achieve a win, he would have options and leverage heading into negotiations that few others have enjoyed. Well, he won and had the leverage to demand his request. Unfortunately, his contract negotiation with the UFC wasn't a success. UFC President Dana White's point of view is that the Cameroonian wanted to fight weaker competition for more money and wasn't too interested in facing Jones, although nothing could be further from the truth. How could Ngannou not want to go up against one of the biggest stars in UFC history? According to White, he had offered his champion to be the highest paid heavyweight champion in history with a contract even bigger than the one given to Brock Lesnar. White said to the media, "We offered Francis a deal that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company. More than Lesnar, more than anybody, and he turned the deal down." So why did Ngannou turn down White's offer? Well, Ngannou had different reasons. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, the Predator said, "I felt like I was slapped in the face with money. Like, take the money and shut up. That didn't work with me." Ngannou said that during his negotiations, he advocated for fighters to get health insurance and the ability to have in-cage sponsorship. He continued, "In the contract, I'm not free. I'm not an independent contractor. I hand over all the power to the UFC, and I've seen in the past how they hold that power over me. I don't want that again." But Dana White called Francis's reason a bluff and went on to say that the former heavyweight champion was afraid of competition. Giving a lengthy response, Dana White said, "We get to this point where I've told you guys this before, but if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. I think Francis is in a place right now where he doesn't want to take a lot of risks. He feels he's in a good position where he could fight lesser opponents and make more money. So we're going to let him do that. We're going to release him from his contract. We're going to give up our right to match, and he can sign wherever he wants and do whatever he wants. You're going to fight arguably the greatest fighter of all time. You'd be the highest paid heavyweight ever in UFC history. Or you think there's more money out there to fight somebody who isn't the greatest of all time, somebody who is a lesser opponent? You'll have to ask Francis that question, but in my opinion, that's what it is." The quotes above are a classic play out of White's playbook as a promoter. He's well known for trotting the same thing out over the years in relation to top stars who haven't cowered to the UFC's demands or gone along with its pay structure. But Francis is not the type to hear a lie and let it slide. In a video titled "Why I Left the UFC," Ngannou disputed much of what White stated. He said, "They said that I'm scared of fighting John Jones or somebody else," which I don't know where they came from with that one. That sounds very ridiculous in my opinion, with all due respect, because I've been calling for this fight for over 2 years. I've been waiting for this fight forever, and I've been fighting guys even with one knee with injury. And now, why do I be scared of them? While I feel even more confident? No, I'm not scared at all. The only thing I'm scared of is to be trapped. is to not lose my freedom, which I value very much. You guys know how the UFC contract can be. Restrictive. As an independent contractor, you don't really have a say in that contract. You don't even have a right, so I can't do that. In the end, Ngannou said in his video, "It's just fortunate that we didn't come to a term. I wish we could have, but it is what it is. As an independent contractor, I have to look up to myself and do what's right for me, and everyone out there should do the same for themselves." One of the most obvious choices for Ngannou could be to trade his MMA gloves for boxing gloves. After all, his recent history and desires indicate that he will head towards that route. He started off his combat sports career by boxing before going into MMA. The Predator has already verbally agreed to terms to face Tyson Fury, but may face an anxious wait with the Gypsy King instead expected to challenge Alexander Usyk. Now, a potential opponent has emerged in the shape of power-punching Wilder, who has made a return to the heavyweight division despite question marks over his future. The Bronze Bomber proposed that the pair meet as part of a two-fight plan, which included a debut for the American in MMA. In their latest public conversation over a potential heavyweight showdown, Ngannou responded to Wilder's call-out, tweeting, "Welcome to the free world, Deontay Wilder. I hope you are a man of your word. See you soon." He later added an adjustment to the potential of an MMA clash. "I said only boxing so he can keep his limbs. Like I said, we will see if he's a man of his word." Also, Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has suggested he would be open to exploring a fight deal with Ngannou, while Dillian Whyte has also expressed interest in a potential clash. With all these boxers calling out Ngannou, maybe leaving the UFC might actually have been the right decision. And you know what else is right? Subscribing to our channel. Click that subscribe button and don't forget to like and comment.